Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Adam Fans. Sorry about the mess up, everybody. I had a bit of a technical issue here. I had some issues starting up the show originally. Just some technical stuff. You know how it is in Antigua. Sometimes things go out of whack. But I'm going to get started anyway. I'm still going to flow and I'm still going to do what I got to do, and make sure that everything flows well. Sorry about the bad start. So if you watch this video later, don't blame me, just blame the internet service here. But I'm going to still keep flowing. I know things happen sometimes, but that's how life is. Anyway, tonight we're going to talk about some transfer news. I'm going to give you some updates on sports in relation to just the world in general, and just to give you an update concerning everything in sports. If you feel like you want to talk about it, then just let me know what you feel concerning it. Just talk about all things in relation to everything in relation to football, and that's generally the direction we're going to go. So just now, put a like if you like the video. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe if you think this is good. So we're going to jump right into it as we start talking about everything in relation to that. And we're going to start off with someone you probably saw on the screen a little earlier on. It's a bright, young talent in the world of football. Everybody's been talking about him and what he's doing out there. And his name goes by the wonderful name of Noah Lang. That's his name. Arsenal are looking at him, a bright young prospect, and it's kind of interesting because it seems as though there's the rumor that Club Brugge has given the green light for Arsenal to come in and seal a January move for this young man. But who is this young man? Well, after battling for multiple years to get a first team opportunity at Ajax, Lang moved to Club Brugge and has brought his quality up to another level. He's gone from strength to strength to strength in everything that he has done. And you see a picture of him here. You saw it when the video first started. In his first season, Lang struck 16 goals to go on with 7 assists to help Bruges win the Belgian Pro League title, while also adding a goal and assist in the Champions League group stages in the process. So Lang has continued in a similar vein. At the start of the season with 3 goals, he has 4 assists in his first 10 games and a goal in Bruges' Belgian Super Cup victory to begin his campaign. So he's pretty good, and Arsenal looking at him, especially considering the fact that there's a rumor out there that Alexander Lacazette is not keen at staying at the Emirates. I don't know if the rumor is true. I'm just going to give you the stats. I'm going to give you the rumors of what people are saying, what's happening out there. But apparently he is, despite being offered a new contract, he may not want to sign the contract. So that's the issue with Lacazette at the moment, and maybe Arsenal are looking for an early replacement, and Noah Lang from Club Brugge seems to be the direction. You might remember him most recently because he was really impressive in the game they played against Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. In that game they played against them, and in many senses, people would say he outperformed that PSG trio, winning the UEFA Man of the Match. And you can see him there holding the trophy in that opening game in the Champions League. So big ups to him. You never know exactly what he will do. He's 22 years old. He made his debut for the Netherlands in the 1-0 win over Latvia and just recently. And he can play as a striker, even though he's predominantly even as a winger. So that's the case. And we see here Jaleel saying that they heard he's the next Neymar. I've heard a lot of great things about him. And Island fans, we like to point out some of the new talent, some of the great talent that's coming out there. And if Arsenal get him, yeah, big ups to them. They've been known to bringing up talent lately. And so we'll see whether or not he does well or not, and how far he goes. So far, he's notched 4 goals and 4 assists in 13 appearances in all club competitions so far this season, banging in the goals, doing a pretty good job. So big ups to him as well too. We see Amija here saying Florian Wirtz. We talked about him the other day. Potential move to Liverpool. Yep. Yep, that's the case as well too. But we're gonna talk about some other young talents, but just generally what's happening in regards to just different people out there in sports. So we're gonna move on to another person that Arsenal fans might know quite well is Jack Wilshere, who is currently training with the under 23s and building his fitness to find a new club. So the question is, can Jack Wilshere find himself a new club? He says he still has plenty in the tank to give, and he's improving his fitness, training with his former club, so that other clubs will look at him. The question is, do you want Jack Wilshere in your team? Do you want him in your team? You know, do you think that maybe he could actually be something great for you? So check that out. Think about it. Maybe Jack Wilshere has more in him. Maybe he has less in him. I still think he can do the bits, and I think he's a great player. He'd be good for anybody's midfield. So go ahead and check him out. Check out Jack Wilshere definitely. I don't think Arsenal are thinking about putting him back. Maybe they're looking at him. Maybe they think he might not. You never know. We'll see exactly how that goes in regards to Jack. But we know he definitely he's not old either. The issue with Jack has always been his injury record. That's the issue with Jack. Has always been his injury record. And if he can stay fit, maybe he can actually, possibly even actually, do pretty well in the future. So that's that. But somebody else we want to talk about as we shift gears is another older fella, but this time we're talking about a manager, is Claudio Ranieri. Everybody knows about him. He's been in the news quite lately. Good night, Dejari. He's been in the news lately because they've been talking about of how he's now the new Watford boss, and he says he wants to carry on managing until he is 80. The Italian turns 70 next week and is preparing for a fourth stint in the Premier League when his Vicarage Road reign starts against Liverpool of all people on Saturday. So, how well will this Premier League winner, yes, don't forget he won it with Leicester, will do? How well will he do? Now, if it's longevity he's craving, he's probably chose the wrong club because, Watford have been known to sack their managers rather quickly. They've had 7 managers in the last 5 years. They're going on like Chelsea these days. No offense to the Chelsea fans, by the way. But he says that even if you don't work out with them, he still plans to carry on his career managing in other places. He saw the opportunity for the job. He jumped in it. His words exactly, because I'm very boring if I don't stay in football. I love football. I love the life. And then, why not? 70 or 80, maybe, why not? The oldest manager in England, maybe with a walking stick. But the brain is important, and the brain is very young. I put all my energy, all my spirit in my job, and I'm so happy. The chairman knows me very well. Very, very, very well. Mita says here that he looks like Bielsa. All right, yeah, I could see it. They have a little look there towards them, but I hope he does well because he could very well end up doing pretty well. All right, so that's him. We're gonna shift our gears a bit more because I hope, for his sake, I hope he does well this weekend because he's playing Liverpool. I know Liverpool don't play, so they're gonna do pretty well. The Jari here says, I don't think he'll last very long at Watford, but a man like him will get a new club quickly. Yep, he just might. He just might. And especially if he does well in Liverpool on the weekend. I know some people then will be saying, you know what, he could probably end up just being, different, special in that regard. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see exactly where he goes. Continue to check him out in terms of his abilities and even his just general direction. But we're gonna switch it up now. We're gonna talk about a striker that people have been ridiculing for some time now. And the reason why this is more so much transfer because more because of who he is. He just came to his club, but more so about his performances lately. He's been putting up some pretty good performances, and then when he gets the stick, we're on his case. But for right now, we're going to bring him up. You see him there on the screen. It's Teemo Verna. Pretty good player as of late. His first goal was a powerful strike from internationals from Thomas Muller flick, and then his second was a Vert's cross, and they end up beating Macedonia 4-0. And he's doing pretty well. No, North Macedonia. He's doing pretty well. Even in the Premier League, he finally got his goal there against Southampton. And the question then is, has Teemo Verna turned the corner? Turned the corner. Has he done that? Is he better now than he was before? We always said that the pressure would be off of him once Lukaku is here. Maybe now he feels now that he can finally step up to the plate and be the player we all knew he was. So sometimes players just need time, hashtag Jadon Sancho. Sometimes he just needs time. We see another comment here saying Timo seems to be getting back in form. Hope we can see him and Lukaku at the top soon. Well, for Chelsea fans, I'm sure they're hoping for that as well, that he ends up going from strength to strength and be an excellent player. So that's Teemo Verna. I don't think Chelsea are planning to sell him. They invested way too much money in him. And I think they're hoping that eventually that international form can carry its way over to club form as well too. We're going to move on to somebody else whose form was kind of tough coming in. You see him there on the screen. Man, he is a baller. We know him to be a baller. Joao Felix in Liverpool are interested in him. The reports in Spain, these are rumors, of course, they might have to take a loss with him and possibly sell him for about $50 million. They want to get him off the books. They're paying him a lot of money. They paid a lot of money for him, 113 million they paid for him in 2019, and it seems like Liverpool want him. Now again, these are all rumors, guys. All right. So the question is then, if they want him, where are they going to put him? That's the question. Where are they going to put him? I mean, he's not going to take Mane's spot. He's not going to take Salah's spot. Is they going to be kind of rotating between Firmino, him, and Jota? I mean, what's going to happen? When you bring somebody in, you have to consider them on a larger scale, what they're going to do and what their capabilities are. And we haven't really seen the best of Felix. We haven't seen the best of him. We've seen glimpses of his brilliance at Atletico, and maybe that the weight of the price tag on him kind of kept him back, and maybe there's a player in there. Maybe there's not. Let me know what you think. Maybe if he really is something that we can look forward to. We see a media here saying that Felix is a fraud. Wow, those are strong language for him, whether he's a fraud or not. But I'm going to switch gears right now. I'm going to speak about really basically one of the top topics right now trending in sports. We all know about Newcastle, and we have known about their struggles recently, and their coach is Steve Bruce. I know him pretty well as a Man United fan because of his Man United history, one of the great things about him. But his managerial career has not been so good as of late. Well, some people may say generally. But now the Newcastle have new owners, there seems to be a lot of issues. Steve Bruce appears set to take charge of Newcastle's first game under their new Saudi owners, and it's been reported that Bruce will be sacked before Sunday's Premier League clash with Tottenham. That's what was said, but that got all cleared up because apparently he's not getting sacked before the game this weekend. And lots of people have been touted. Brendan Rodgers, Antonio Conte, lots of people. We'll talk about some more people later who are suggested to be in the job, want the job, have the job. And even Steven Gerrard has been touted for it, even though he said personally that, Steve Bruce is his friend and he's not even thinking about that, and that's not a big deal for him. He's supposed to have his 1,000 match coming up. You see, Julie Hill reminded me of that, giving his 1,000 match, and they're going to sack him after. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. Didn't know that. Let's see what happens, Let's see what happens in that regard because there's so much that could happen. The club head into the match second from bottom of the Premier League without a win in their first 7 games. So, I mean, they haven't been playing bad. It's just that they haven't been playing great either. I mean, some may disagree. If you disagree, throw it in the chat. Let me know what you think. If he's been doing awful or if he's been doing great. Who knows? But Bruce himself criticized the media for their reporting on his future in his press conference that happened today, where he said this: "I hope you're feeling the heat from your bosses because it hasn't happened, has it? What you all wanted." Let's hope you're getting a bit of stick from the people who put you in charge. The information was wrong, wasn't it? So you haven't done your job properly, because everybody is saying he'll get sacked before the Tottenham match. So um, lots of pressure on him. Maybe he might get sacked after the game. This sacking thing. But the question is that who are they going to bring in? So will they bring in somebody just to keep them up? I don't know. There are lots of things talked about there. But since we're talking about Newcastle are reportedly tracking Nicholas Sewell, you know him over there in Germany, and Coutinho. They're rumored that, those are players that might consider coming. What do y'all think? You think that Sewell and Coutinho would come? Would they stay where they are? Who knows? All right. Also, in other news, the Sun reported that. The Sun also reported that Real Madrid are confident of landing Paul Pogba on a free transfer next summer. Now, I know that if y'all have watched this show, y'all would have seen I made some public statements about Paul Pogba. I mean, I love the guy as a player. I do. I think he's an amazing player, and I love the fact that he's on United. But I guess I just didn't like his attitude sometimes. I wish he had a more positive, progressive, loyal attitude. But hey, in many ways, if I look at it from his perspective, he's just trying to make as much money as he can for himself and for his family, right? And all these are just games to make that kind of money. So, and there we go. We see here that Sewell is going to be free. I didn't even know that. Yeah, you got some people in contracts being, ending, and they may just say, you know what, let's go over to Real. Let's go over to, I was going to say Real Madrid. Let's go over to Newcastle. All right. Other news, the Daily Express reported that Man United fear the pull of Real Madrid will mean Pogba again quitting United next summer. So, they may feel to themselves, hey, you know what? He may just draw his contract all the way to the end and then just sign on a free with Real Madrid, like Mbappe is planning to do. So remember the man in the France club sitting down saying, okay, I'm gonna end my contract. So me and you and Benzi are the start of this new French connection in Real Madrid. Who knows? That may just be what's happening. All right. Man United also are investigating this whole Donny van de Beek situation. They call a lot of people. The news are calling him a flop. The Daily Mirror is calling him a flop, and that he could finally be out of his way out of Old Trafford as the midfielder is starting to leave in the January transfer window. Maybe even go over to Newcastle. You're gonna start once you go over there. He'll probably improve there. He will improve their midfield, and I guess with the promise that they're gonna buy more players for the new season. I don't want Donny to go. I'm a Donny fan. I really think Ollie should play him more. Find a system in which it works. I just think Donny. I don't think Ollie trusts him. I don't think Ollie trusts him defensively, because you have to play Pogba, and he don't think he can play Donny and Pogba in the same midfield. So he plays Fred or McTominay instead, who he thinks can do that defensive work a lot better. So that's that. And Jaleel here is saying about Pogba, positive, loyal, and progressive, and the club are the opposite of that. You're right, Jaleel. You're really right, because I mean, Pogba is thinking that probably he's thinking that you're not that way for me. Why should I be that way for you? I mean, Jari's talking about that French connection. Yeah, it could be. Benzema could probably sit down Pogba and sit on Mbappe. You've heard Benzema's comments recently about Mbappe, and say, look, guys, both here are contracts running down. Just come to Real Madrid. I got Hazard over there. Can you imagine that? You got Pogba in the midfield, Hazard, you got Mbappe, and then you got Benzema on top, and Vinicius floating around somewhere. Think about that. That could be a pretty cool connection. Major says here, Fred and McTominay aren't even holding mids. They like to go forward. Ollie is clueless. Yeah, it's funny how that works. That's why he plays the two of them together. That's what everybody call it, the McFred. Because he doesn't think that either one of them can do the job them by themselves. But other United fans think so. Speaking of United, Marcus Rashford is back, and apparently he's put on some muscle, so he's reducing his chances of injury. So we'll see. He may play or may not play this weekend. Also on the United front, Anthony Elanga was recently hit with some racial abuse, And of course, UEFA is investigating it and trying their best to fight it. And you know that we need to be against racism because racism is not the way to go. Also, in some news as well too, we see Pochettino is confident that Neymar will play for many more years after the Brazil forward said this week that the next World Cup could be his last. Talking about Neymar, and then what do you guys think about that? You know, is Neymar going to play his final game? Would that be his final World Cup or just generally his final game? You know, I mean, Neymar is one of the best players in the world, and of course, or it'd be a shame to miss him and his talent and his skill when you feel he had more years to go. You know, that was said because it was been reported that Neymar said that he's not sure if he'll continue playing because he may not have the strength of mind to deal with football anymore. Strength of mind to deal with football anymore. Yeah, I tell you, man, mental health is a serious thing, and maybe he just it's all getting to him. Who knows? He may stay, he may not stay. But since I'm on the PSG front, even Mbappe, we said Mbappe could leave, but Pochettino himself recently confirmed that yes, Mbappe said, as we heard him say, that he tried to leave in the summer. But Pochettino is saying that Kylian will make the decision that he has to make, and the club will do everything possible to keep him. And PSG can't convince him to stay. He could change his mind. He could change his mind. He may not change his mind. We'll see. I don't think he will. I think it's always been his dream to be like Ronaldo and follow in that footsteps and become a pretty big thing. So that could be definitely could be the case. We're going to switch back to United because there's some news there on that front as well. Jesse Lingard again is the talk right now, and Jesse apparently is being looked at by Barcelona and AC Milan. I don't know about that. I mean, I love Jesse, but maybe we'll see. Barcelona and AC Milan are looking at him, hoping that they can get him on a free transfer next summer. But when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was asked about that, he feels optimistic that Jesse could sign a new deal. The 28-year-old who scored 9 goals in 16 appearances for West Ham while on loan in the second half of the season is out of contract at the end of the campaign. And while they have people like Ronaldo and Jadon Sancho coming in, Lingard now is thinking maybe from his perspective, he could break into the team. And he has done pretty well so far. Solskjaer confirmed this by saying Jesse's had a good start to the season. He's come on, scored a few goals, and that's been very important for us. We want to prolong his contract. We want to see him as an important player. It's up to him, maybe up to me, to give him more playing time because he deserves to. Hopefully we can get a deal for Jesse sorted because we really, really rate him. Okay? We see Drake Slicer saying Odegaard is still trash. Well, the guy who you normally throw this at is not here tonight. So whether or not you think he's trash, that's up to you. All right. And lastly, that we'll talk about tonight, because as I said, this is going to be a very, very, very short show. We're going to speak about Raheem Sterling. Now, I don't know if you all remember, but way back when we talked about Sterling, there was a particular video that we talked about in relation to him and Sterling in general. I just want to remind you of that video. So just take a quick look at this and see what it's all about. Take a look at this video.
Alien.
Actually.
It was nobody wants Sterling. Not nobody wants Sterling. Your boy, if you put Sterling outside, it turns the time for the garbage truck pass straight.
No.
Yeah, I remember that. Do people still want Sterling? Do they want him or not? If you like that video, it's on our page. You can go check it out and share it and like it and let everybody see it, because it still might just be true. Is Sterling important? How important is Sterling? Well, recently, Raheem Sterling has admitted he's considering his Man City future as he looks to play more minutes and hasn't ruled out a move abroad. Sterling told the Financial Times Business of Sports USA Summit on Thursday, if there was an option to go elsewhere for more game time, I would be open to it. As I said, football is the most important thing to me. Then he said this: challenges that I have set myself challenges that I've set myself from a young age, and dreams as well as an English player. All I know is the Premier League, and I've always thought, maybe one day I'd love to play abroad. See how I'll come up against that challenge. And Guardiola basically said that there are lots of positions to play there. He has exceptional players around him, and even Raheem, he said, is an exceptional player. And so he's saying, hey, from as far as he's concerned, the biggest athletes speak on the pitch. They need to show me how good they are. The biggest athletes in the world in all sports, they speak on the grass. That's what he said about Raheem Sterling. So, well, that's it for me, folks. I've given you a nice little comprehensive view of everything that's happening in the world of sports. I hope you all appreciate it on this Friday evening. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out this video and many more as we seek to do our best to give you great content on this channel. Thanks again, and have a great night.
Thank you for watching Island Fans. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when there are new videos and updates. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and like us on Facebook. Island Fans, for the passion of the game.